all you Slashaholics, welcome to Slash Sisters. I am Slash Sister Jen.
And that makes me Slash Sister Hallie, and we want to welcome you back to the channel for horror movie reviews by true horror movie fans.
That's right, folks, and as you can tell from, at least from my clothes, and I mean really, hers will make sense by the end of the video, I promise. We are in a little bit of a festive mood here. Although I must say, this movie would not be the first holiday movie to come to mind, but now that I've seen it, I will always think Christmas when I think of this movie. Like, I just will. It's very Christmassy. I had never even heard of this until Hallie recommended it, and I just watched it for the first time this week,
So what movie are we talking about? Well, today's review is the 2007 P2, a movie that flew under the radar, but is definitely deserving of a review. We definitely think you should check out this film, so if you haven't already, pause this video, go watch the film.
It's actually free on the Roku channel right now, so with commercials, but you can watch it for free.
And then come back here after you've watched it and check out our review.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the writers of this film is Alexandra Aja. He's mostly known, or at least got his name out there from the movie
Hills Have Eyes.
Actually, before that, High Tension.
Oh, yes.
He's a French writer and was part of like that French extremity movement, and it was actually Wes Craven saw High Tension and reached out to Alexandra Aja to direct the Hills Have Eyes remake in 2006, I think.
Yeah,
somewhere around there. But yeah, Wes Craven himself reached out to Alexandra Aja to direct that because of High Tension, and he is one of the writers of this film.
This film also stars Wes Bentley, who was openly talked about his history with drug abuse and substance addiction, I guess.
It wasn't just drugs, it was alcohol too.
Right. I know at one time he said that he was literally taking roles to feed his addiction.
Yeah,
I think
and this was one of them.
This was one of them. I know Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance was another one. This was right around the same time.
Yeah, pretty much, I think it happened shortly after American Beauty, which is what he's, I think, most well known for, or at least it was his first big movie. Mm-hmm. But it was pretty much shortly after that he got very heavily addicted and spent 10 years wrapped in that addiction, and pretty much every movie he took in that time was to feed that addiction. Mm-hmm. So why don't we go ahead and dig into this movie, shall we?
So we start our story with Angela Bridges, a young and beautiful businesswoman who works in a midtown Manhattan office building. Don't really say exactly what she's doing, but she's working with some type of like high-profile clientele with multi-million-dollar business deals.
Yeah.
That's about the extent of what we get from this.
Yeah, essentially. So she gets stuck working late on Christmas Eve. Before leaving to attend a family party, she's been like in contact with her sister, basically saying, like, I'm on my way, I'm coming.
Right. In Jersey.
Yeah, right.
Before leaving, she gets an apology from a coworker who had apparently done something inappropriate at the holiday Christmas party.
Yeah, they don't really explain too much. He just says
we find out a little bit later.
Yep.
But yeah.
But yeah, he just kind of basically is like, I'm so embarrassed, I'm really sorry, I shouldn't have done that, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So she ends up leaving, or packing up, getting ready to leave the office, and heads towards the parking garage. When she reaches the second underground parking level, P2, beneath the office block, she discovers that her car will not start.
Mm-hmm. After receiving assistance from a super awkward security guard named Thomas, Wes Bentley's character, and turning down his offer to spend Christmas with him, she calls for a taxi and waits in the lobby.
Yeah, that's a really strange interaction. Like,
I'm sorry, the taxi driver should have came out and talked to her, because I don't know.
Yeah, hi. It was like the streets were practically empty. It's late on Christmas Eve. Like, how are you gonna just leave somebody in the lobby? Like, come on.
I mean, she couldn't get out.
Yeah.
The front door was locked. All the security guards were fucking gone.
Yeah, she couldn't find Carl, the security guard.
Well, we find out later why she couldn't find him.
So yeah, the taxi just leaves her. Angela uses the light of her cell phone because, hello, all the lights in the parking garage are now...
Hey! I'm still in here, wait!
out.
Which is not how a parking garage works, but okay.
Nope. But she uses the light of her cell phone to kind of wander around this deserted parking lot.
It's not like a big screen cell phone like what we. It's a tiny flip phone because this is 2007.
Yep.
I think her provider was Nextel,
yeah, I
which
think
is
so.
no longer in existence.
No. Which I think turned into Sprint.
Yeah, I think
and then now Sprint's not even in existence anymore.
No,
it's
AT&T.
It got together with T-Mobile.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Thomas comes up from behind her and drugs her with chloroform. I will admit, this is the closest accurate representation of how long chloroform actually takes. Because in the movies, it's always like instantaneous.
So
but
fast.
No, it takes about 5 minutes to knock somebody out with a rag full of chloroform.
Really knock them out.
Yeah. But this one was about 45 seconds.
Yeah, I mean at least longer than the typical time.
Because
usually
5
it's
seconds,
literally like seconds after they put it over their mouth.
So I give them credit for at least trying to stay authentic to the actual drug they were using. But he takes her to his little parking garage office.
Angela awakens in a haze inside of Thomas's office. And he has changed her clothes into a really titty poppin' white dress and high heels. And she has some different makeup on her face now, too. But yeah, her ankle is also chained to the table. That's not how I would want to wake up. I know that, for sure.
Thomas tells her that he loves her despite her many sins, having obsessively watched and recorded her for some time through the CCTV of the office building.
Yeah. So he'd been creeping on her and stalking her for a hot minute. Because, this is something else that I thought about. Obviously he's been stalking her for a while. But, did he have this planned for this specific day? And how did he know that she was going to be the last one leaving the office?
I don't think that he knew.
I mean, movie magic, but
I don't think he knew that she was going to be the last one to leave the office.
But he had it planned for that.
I think he knew that she was going to be staying late.
Yeah.
Because
it seems like she stays late a lot.
So he just kind of planned on her staying late. I mean, he had everything set up in his favor. Seriously.
Yep. And we'll get to this. Despite Angela's pleas and threats, Thomas continues to hold her against her will. He forces her to call her family, call her sister, and tell her that she is sick. Now suddenly, coming down with the flu and won't be able to make it to their family Christmas.
Even though she had just called her sister earlier and said that she was on her way.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe.
We say minutes.
Well, we don't know how long she was passed out.
Exactly. So, I mean...
Probably for a while.
I would say maybe within an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Angela tries to escape, but Thomas leaves her handcuffed inside his office with his Rottweiler, Rocky, to watch over her.
That dog. Thomas then takes Angela in his car for a ride around the parking lot.
Still handcuffed, mind you.
Yes, where he takes her to another level of the garage. And
I think it's P4 or P3.
Yeah, something. But he has kidnapped that co-worker that groped her at the office party.
Jim, as the co-worker is called, is tied to an office chair, and Thomas thinks Jim is a terrible person after having seen him try to take advantage of Angela on the security cameras in the elevator.
Yeah. And that's not to say that Jim maybe didn't see him try to do that to other women as well. Because he does kind of imply that, maybe this isn't the first time he's done it. At least when he's, talking to him and Jim's, in the chair and whatever. But
who is Thomas to be judge, jury, and executioner in this instance?
No shit. Clearly not a good judge. So Thomas refuses to listen to or believe Angela's pleas that Jim apologized for his drunken actions actually earlier that day. But Thomas didn't want to hear it.
Thomas instructs Angela to get back at Jim by hitting him with a flashlight, but she refuses. Thomas ultimately beats Jim himself. I actually thought he killed him at first.
I thought he did too, but...
The first time I watched this, I totally thought that.
But when he actually dies, oh my gosh. So Thomas then gets back into the car and rams into him.
Well,
he
drives
the
up.
wall.
He drives up to him and slams on the brakes right before hitting him.
Scares the shit out of him.
Then pushes him into the wall, but He
and
gets
then
up to
backs
speed.
up and repeatedly smashes him into the wall until I think his head bursts. And
that bumper just...
It all onto the windshield, too. Like, she's, like, right there, like, splashes in her face. It's pretty gory, to be honest. I mean, it's a lot of blood. I wasn't expecting it. It was one of those things where I was like, whoa, okay, all right, we're going there.
Yeah, see, sometimes I can pick good movies.
Yeah. I trust your taste. I do. She don't trust mine, though.
Yeah, you rub your arm into it. Amidst the murder, Angela is able to escape barefoot after ditching her high heels.
Yeah.
She doesn't get very far, though.
Yeah. While Thomas hides the evidence of
He puts
Jim,
pallets up over the fucking blood splatter and doesn't even bother to clean up the blood on the ground, which we'll get to later.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know how this man gets away with as much as he does. But while Thomas is hiding the evidence, Angela finds a safe place to hide and manages to, like, pull her handcuffs down and around in front of her, so at least she's...
Which, by the way, folks, I don't know if you've ever tried that, ever been handcuffed behind your back with actual handcuffs.
That's impossible. Especially for a fat girl.
It's not impossible, it's improbable. Because the second you start moving, those cuffs start tightening.
Yep.
I know, because I've tried.
I've been in handcuffs before, too. Real ones, by a police officer. So there you go.
Right.
But she does end up, I mean, I guess if you're skinnier, you have better range of motion and stuff like that, maybe you can get, but there ain't no way these arms are getting around this ass. There's just no way. Nope.
Ass for days.
Anyways.
Right, enough about Jenny's ass. She rushes back to Thomas's office to retrieve her cell phone, finding key cards in a spot near the locked gate that has reception.
Yeah, she does end up getting it, and that's getting her phone while Rocky is chained up in the office. Like, she has to, like, climb up over the desk. And I mean, it's tense. Like, this movie, there's a lot of good tension in this movie. I will give it that. After, like, reaching her hands through the chain link fence and dialing 911, she drops her phone on the other side of the fence, of the gate.
Yeah.
How did she lose a fingernail? I missed that part. I know I saw the fingernail coming off, and I was like, ugh! Like, fingernails and teeth are, like, two things that really do get to me.
She's reaching for the cell phone, and she ends up, like, pushing down too hard. And the concrete pops the nail off. Not completely, because she pulls her hand back, and then
she pulls it off.
Pulls the rest of it off.
Because that's what I saw. I saw her pulling it off, and I was like, ugh! What did I just miss? I don't want to rewind it. I don't want to watch it. Nope, I'm good.
That was, believe it or not, that was actually in one of the trailers. At one
point.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like her, like, breaking it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, teeth and nails. Those are two things that really do get to me.
She uses a key card to get to the elevators with Thomas hot on her trail.
Yeah, but she does make it in there, and he doesn't have the keys anymore, so she's kind of safe-ish. Safe-ish for now. But while she's in the elevator, Angela calls for help using, like, the little call button inside the elevator. And at first, the voice that responds appears to be an operator of some sort. And she begins, like, begging and pleading with them to call 911. And then the voice changes, and she realizes that it is Thomas on the line.
Which is not how those call boxes and elevators work. They go to an outside.
Go directly to an outside line.
Yep, they do not go to any place inside the building.
Nope.
I mean, maybe they did in 2007, but not now.
No. Maybe he rerouted it or something. I don't know.
I don't know, because he seemed like he was on the spectrum.
For sure. Like, there's
I don't know if that was just Wes Bentley and his drug addiction coming through on screen, or if that was planned out, that he was a bit autistic or whatever, but he definitely seemed like he was a bit slower than most people.
What's funny is that his character in American Beauty is, I would say, probably on the spectrum as well.
Okay.
So
maybe
I wonder if it's Wes Bentley.
Oh, it could be.
And it could just be the way that he acts. There's plenty of people that are on the spectrum that are actors.
No, and I'm not degrading it.
Yeah,
no. You can clearly tell by the way he behaves, and his obsessive behavior is definitely.
But he's also a psychopath.
Oh no,
So,
100%.
you know, there's
100%.
that too. So.
Right. Thomas tells her that she will come around to love him back. He then flushes her out by flooding the elevator with a fire hose from the higher floor.
Yeah.
Asshole.
Yeah. Amidst the flooding, he also throws in the body of Carl, which plops down into the elevator with her, which Carl is the security guard that she seemed pretty friendly with in the very beginning.
She seemed at bare minimum to have a strong working relationship with
him. For
him.
Sure. She knew him by name, he knew her by name.
Right,
so.
And he knew that she stays late a lot.
Yeah. So, I mean, and she was clearly very upset. You know, she was trying to get him to wake up, but he did.
While hiding in the parking lot, Angela is tormented by Thomas, who declares he has no intention of letting her leave the garage and plays Elvis Presley's Blue Christmas over the intercom. Actually, we get quite a bit of needle drop good Christmas songs.
Yeah, actually, and he literal needle drops because he's using a record player.
Yep.
But she breaks open the emergency fire axe and proceeds to basically kind of make her way through the parking garage, destroying every camera that she can, which really
there's quite a bit of camera, so
yeah, but it helps her in the long run because they are switching to the cameras itself are switching to other cameras, and he doesn't even realize that the cameras are being smashed.
Not until he's trying to track her down later.
Yep.
On entering, she finds a video playing of Thomas entering his office.
She comes back to the office. Yeah.
She finds a video of Thomas, video playing on a TV of Thomas himself molesting her, and basically putting makeup on her.
Doing stuff to her body, dressing her, all this stuff. I know that if I walked in somewhere and saw, in this situation, I would react the same way. She fucking flips.
As she had every right to.
It gave her so much more, I think it gave her the determination at that point. She was no longer just running from him.
She was no longer just a damsel in distress. She was I'm gonna fuck him up.
Yep. I'm gonna mess him up.
Switch.
Yep, for sure. Thomas sneaks up behind her and knocks her out with a taser because guess what? The police are here. They're responding to that 911 call, or at least to some kind of disturbance.
I think when the 911 operator came over the phone and could not get anybody, they pinged the location of the phone and sent the localist cop out. Which
is funny because the police actually run over her phone. Go figure. But yeah, so the police are there, so he sneaks up behind her, tases her, and puts her in the trunk of a car. We don't really find that out until later when the police are actually driving around. But yeah, he gets rid of her. Well, cleans up. He's covered in blood. There's so many things. I don't know how he got himself cleaned up enough.
So the movie actually does start with her in the trunk already.
Really?
Yeah. So she, it's a trunk. There's Eartha Kitt's Santa Baby playing and everything, and we hear a little bit of banging commotion, and then all of a sudden there's a tire that comes out of the lock mechanism, and then she opens up the trunk, and then it says earlier that day.
Okay. I guess I missed that.
Yep. But that's exactly how she gets out. She uses a tire iron to get out. A
tire iron sure does come in handy.
Mm-hmm.
So, she is in the trunk.
Right. She doesn't get out in time before the police fucking leave.
She literally wakes up when the police car drives by and the lights go by her, and she's realizes what's going on, and where she's at. But
also, remember how he said earlier that there was the blood stain on the pavement that he just put pallets over? Yeah, the cops walked right over the blood.
Literally walk over it. How do you not see that?
I understand the blood against the wall. Okay, the pallets will hide that.
Sure.
Whatever.
But there had to have been pools of blood everywhere.
Exactly.
It doesn't just stay on the wall.
No, he may have cleaned it up off screen. Highly doubtful. But
he cleaned up his office and everything off screen. Well, I mean, he does kind of scoop everything into a garbage bag, but whatever. Yeah. But he got himself cleaned up off screen too, and that's it's hard to get blood off you.
I think
he had to have changed his clothes, but come on. So Thomas then once the police are gone,
Angela's running after
Angela's
them.
running, yeah.
And then she
running,
sees...
running towards the gate, trying to catch them, yeah.
And then she sees Thomas.
And Thomas literally just steps in front of her with Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
Who then releases Rocky, and Angela just goes running. Like, Rocky starts chasing her. Through the parking garage, she's able to get safely into a car.
By breaking out the back window.
By breaking out the back window with the tire iron. But the dog crashes through the window and bites her leg.
She is eventually able to kill said dog with said tire iron.
And it's gruesome, dude.
Oof. It ends up getting splattered about like this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she
well, she only stabbed him once, but she just like kept.
I know, but then he like she stops and he starts moving again. She's like, ah, like literally like, yeah, it's pretty gruesome. Like for an animal death, like I really don't like seeing animals die in movies, but this dog sucked. It's kind of like seeing Cujo die, I guess. I mean, in a way,
you know, pets, animals, whatever, are reflections of their owners. So the fact that he was that aggressive shows the fact that he was not a good person.
And he was raised to be aggressive that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But after having stabbed it through the neck with the tire iron, she's able to get away.
Yeah, yeah. So Thomas then comes along and finds
Rocky.
his dog and loses his shit.
He's yelling after her. He's like, "Why would you do that?
Why would you do that to my dog?
He was a defenseless dog.
Defenseless my ass. He bit her.
Exactly.
You sent him after her.
Exactly.
What the fuck? Oh, I remember like when I was watching that scene, I was like, "You're a motherfucker. You want to defend this dog? That dog was a piece of shit and deserved to die."
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
So Angela ends up finding a car rental company in the parking garage. Which
she uses that tire iron to break it open.
She pries it open.
Yep.
And she ends up finding a set of keys and trying.
Actually, she grabs like handfuls of keys and calls 911 again.
Mm-hmm.
So and it just leaves, and it's like they put her on hold. She calls 911 and they're like,
"Well," but there was also like waiting music too.
Yeah. What the fuck? You called 911 and they put you on hold?
I'm sorry, that's not how 911 works.
No, it's really not. Maybe in New York, I don't fucking know.
I mean, the only way that works like that is if the 911 operating center is inundated with massive amounts of calls flooding in, which only happens in, I don't know, terrorist attacks.
Yeah, well, and like when you
like
see
that.
the city after she does eventually get
It's
out,
completely
it's
fucking
barren.
deserted.
Yeah, because it's Christmas
Eve. Well,
but by then it's probably Christmas.
Right,
you know, it's the morning.
But yeah, so she finds keys, tries to escape by car, but is I don't know. It's not. It's
he just kind of like drives right into her. Yeah,
kind of like T-bones her
for sure.
Thomas does with another vehicle, leading to a game of chicken that Angela actually ends up winning.
Yeah, because he turns off.
Because he's a pussy.
Yeah. However, in the heat of the chase, she flips her vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas then opens the door, attempts to grab her, but Angela, who is actually pretending to be unconscious, manages to stab him right in the fucking eye with a scalpel.
Was it scalpel or
a pen or something? Whatever it was.
I thought it was
she
a ball
stabbed him
pen.
in the eyeball. Right in the eyeball, and that effect was good. That was great. And of course, he freaks out, and
mind you, this entire time she is still handcuffed.
Yeah, and so she gets behind him and begins choking him out with her handcuffs. So yeah,
she does get his keys and gets the handcuffs off of her. And then cuffs him to the car just before he comes to and begins to leave while taking his taser.
Yep. And of course, we also see gasoline leaking out of the car. Mm-hmm. Thomas, who is now trapped in the exact same way that she was, desperately starts pleading with her, like, please don't leave me here.
He pleads with her at first, and then he starts calling her,
you bitch!
You stupid
fucking cunt is what he called her. And when he did that, she turns around.
And that gasoline leak...
Merry Christmas, Thomas.
Gets lit on fire with the taser. I wonder if that could actually happen. I mean, I would assume that it should be able to happen.
So,
I know Mythbusters has busted, like, the whole dropping a cigarette or dropping a match because there's just too much liquid. It would go out before it would even ignite. But with a taser, you're getting an electrical current, so...
Right, but it's not the liquid that's flammable, it's the fumes, the aroma.
Okay.
That's what's flammable. That's why when you throw a cigarette into a pail of gasoline, it's not going to...
It just goes out,
Yeah.
So yeah, either way, she uses the taser to light the gasoline on fire, which then causes an explosion, and he burns to death.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. So, yeah. Oh yeah, she does wish him a Merry Christmas before she uses the taser to ignite the gasoline. But yeah, he's
engulfed in flames.
Yeah, screaming and engulfed in flames.
Angela, who's now soaking wet, bloody, and injured, opens up the garage using said keys and limps out into a cold and desolated Manhattan Christmas morning.
Yeah, for sure. In the distance, and really you could hear and see the police and sirens coming.
Because
when she left that phone off the hook for 911, so they would eventually figure that out.
Well, not only that, but
there's also flames. And
the flames ignited.
The
sprinkler
system went off,
which automatically triggers the fire department to come.
Yep. And that's the end of the movie. Just her walking down the street and
rescue
coming.
If you play through the credits, you actually do hear like the sirens like pull up, stop, and you hear someone get out and ask her if she's okay.
Okay.
So,
which she's not.
I mean, she's traumatized, but I mean, she's alive.
Yeah. I
we can't say the same for Thomas.
Yeah, no.
Or Jim.
No. Poor Jim. And poor Carl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the end of the movie though. That's it. My thoughts on this movie, I really loved it. I was like, it was gripping. It was very, it definitely has a lot of tension. It keeps you right on the edge of your seat where you're going,
oh my God.
Cast.
For a minimal cast. Because
there's literally, 6 people in the whole movie?
3/4 of this film revolves around 2 people.
Yeah.
For the most part.
And then you got the 2 cops.
The 2 cops.
Jim and Carl. And then, there's a few people in the office when she's leaving. But that's it. That's it. Very minimal.
Like, very total of 8 people in the entire film.
Yeah. I thought it was fantastic. For being a small film, it was, and a film that, honestly, I had never even heard of until Hallie told me about it. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I had never heard of it. I was very excited to watch it, and it was better than I was expecting. A nice little hidden gem that I think more people need to see, and it's definitely a Bloody Machete Up.
2 Bloody Machetes Up. I actually forgot how good of a film this actually was, because I hadn't seen it since about 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
I just shelved it, and it's not something I think about a lot, but doing this channel and trying to come up with like holiday themed movies that are maybe a little bit lesser.
Silent Night, Deadly Night, and like the typical ones that everybody always does. We wanted to do something a little bit different, and this definitely is a Christmas movie that is a total hidden gem and needs to be watched by more people. And like I said, free on the Roku channel, so go watch it.
And with that, we're going to send this straight to Manhattan.
Get on out of here. That sucks. Alright, let's do another one that I had not seen until just recently.
Same.
Yeah, I think this is the first one that we both have not seen that we've reviewed. There's no other ones.
Phantasm.
Oh, Phantasm. Oh, and Mother's Day.
Mother's Day, yeah.
So there's been a few, but not very many.
I don't know if you heard Amy chuckle in the background, but yeah, we've been very vocal about our disdain for Phantasm.
And somehow I've been forced to watch it like 3 times this year.
Just once for me, but...
Well, then we saw it at the drive-in.
Yeah, that's the only time.
And we watched it for when we reviewed it.
That was last year.
It was early this year, wasn't it?
Nope.
Everything's running together. Anyways. Let's tell them what we're going to do next week.
Well, year's almost over, so we thought we'd just go ahead and if I can grab it.
Cap it off.
Turn the lights out on everyone.
Yeah, why not? This is a movie based off of a short film. The director then took the short film and turned it was like a 3-minute film. It was very short.
It was on
YouTube.
It was like a 3-minute short film. Well, it went viral.
Yeah.
So he entered it into a film competition. Did not win. I don't even think he placed in the top 3. But so many people were impressed with it that he ended up having to create a spreadsheet of all the different production companies that had contacted him about wanting to adapt it into a full-length feature film. And then he did.
Yep.
And then he went on to go on and direct Annabelle Creation,
Yep.
Shazam, and Shazam Fury of the Gods.
Yep. So this is where he got his start. This is his first full feature-length film.
Directorial
and
debut.
First short film, too. So come back next week when we dig into Lights Out, and make sure you watch it before you come back to us. Go ahead.
Until then, be sure to slash that subscribe button,
Stab the like button,
and ring-a-ling that gray bell so you don't get lost in the mix and you can stay up to date on everything we are doing on YouTube.
and until next time, we will see you all
In the afterlife.